Hello everybody and welcome back to day 32 of the 100 Days of Making Comics Challenge. Today I wanted to talk about what you're seeing me paint right now, which is I struggled to figure out the coloring and shading and whatnot of my first page of my comic. So you'll see at the very beginning I open a concept art of a poltergeist that I did way at the beginning of this challenge, and I really liked how that turned out. I really liked the style of the background and everything, and so I pulled up an image of it, and over top I figured out exactly what it was that I did, what kind of blending modes I used for certain things, and what kind of brushes, so that I could essentially recreate it here, but it didn't really work out. I don't like how any of the coloring turned out, and I didn't even get around to really doing any kind of actual colors, except for the very end, but I only used one color. I started painting in the colors for the trees in the very first panel, and then was like, I've been doing this for way too long tonight already. This isn't working out. I will figure it out later. So I stopped recording for the day. But so this video will be 99% me painting in black and white. And so the thing is that I painted that poltergeist in the painting program Krita, and then a couple of weeks ago I bought Clip Studio because Krita is more geared towards illustration, so the comics tools are basically non-existent. So I went to Clip Studio and I did all of my actual final page work in Clip. So that means that the brushes and methods that I used in the poltergeist illustration don't translate into Clip. One, because I don't have the exact brushes. They're Krita default brushes, and because, as I learned in the very end of this video, when I start doing actual color layers with the green for the trees, the blending styles, the methods that I used to make the colors and the line art look the way it does in the end, using blending modes, aren't the same, which is super weird. I don't understand what's different about them, because if I go into the original project file of the Krita illustration, the shadows and everything, it's just done in black and white, and then I color balanced the whole line art layer file, layer folder, that's what it's called, line art layer folder. I color balanced it to be a dark blue instead of a black, and then underneath it I did literally just one big block of a single color of a light purple, and then on top of that I did the actual colors, and I only used three Yeah. Maybe it's four. About four or five colors. Three of them are greens. Two or three are greens. The other one is a yellow, which I use for the sky, and the other one is a blue, which I use for the fence. Because those were the tentative color schemes, like colors for the environment slash background color scheme that I wanted. So I foolishly thought that those colors and the way that I colored the piece, like the methods I used, which were that I took that single color layer with the blues, yellows, and greens, and I put it on screen. And so what that does was, because the line art layer was sort of like transparent, and so it was it kind of does like what a multiply layer would do, where you can see the colors shine through, simply because the way that I did that I lined that I shaded it was that I like placed down one block of like whatever I was trying to paint, like the grass. I would do like on its own layer, like a patch of grass, and it would be like completely 100% black. And then I'd change the opacity to make it some kind of shade of gray. And that's how there's like the layered kind of look to it. So I thought I could do that again here, especially when I was painting the trees and the bushes. But that didn't like really work out either. And so when I did the colors at the very end, for this page, the green on top of the purple, because if I put it on screen, and so that should have made like that green color into it should have taken that color, changed its opacity, did all of the processing of the layer that the screen blending mode is supposed to do, and the purple is supposed to like shine through and like make all of the colors kind of like really cohesive and like go together and all of that. And that isn't what happened. It like was a weird white, and it wasn't supposed to be. I don't know. So like I couldn't really figure out what it was about this like Clip's screen blending mode that was different than Krita's screen blending mode. But by the time I got around to actually laying down colors, I was like hours into painting the grayscale layer, and I was like, ugh, I'm done for today. So yeah, and also I just had like a lot of trouble figuring out what brush I was going to use for the foliage. I Before I did this, I downloaded a bunch of vegetation brush packs that had a lot of brushes that I thought would be super, super good and that I'd really like. But it turns out I had like three leaf brushes, and then the rest were like all grass brushes, and I was like, what? Could have sworn I had more, but okay. So the ones that I had for like the tree leaves, I did not like. It didn't really, the styles of it were too, what's the word? Realistic compared to the style of the line art. So it just didn't feel right. And there's like this disconnect with it, and I didn't really like it, and I was like, and I kept going back and forth and back and forth, and yeah, and then also I tried to do some things with like a texture layer where I took like a dry brush with like a light gray, kind of more like a white, and tried like going over some things to put like texture in the wood grain of like the door and like the side paneling of the house, and um that didn't really like look the greatest, but I didn't put much time or effort into it because also by that point, once again, I was kind of fed up. And I didn't even get around to painting Tori. Like, the grayscale layer isn't even, like, complete. And I think that the biggest mistake that I made was going in with grayscale. Because I did grayscale for the line art layer in the Poltergeist, you know, what's the word? Illustration, but that's kind of like an extenuating circumstance, meaning the whole illustration was basically organic matter, meaning sky, trees, grass. It was like almost all organic matter like that, and so doing grayscale for something like the house or like a person wouldn't have looked good if I used the same methods. So yeah. Basically, it was struggling hours, and I will probably like scrap this whole grayscale bullshit. I'm not gonna like delete the layer because I can just like use the magic wand tool and quickly change the color of, you know, get rid of the line art, grab just a block of a color and just change it to something else. But again, the grayscale isn't gonna be, it's not as useful as I thought it was, which was disappointing, because, you know, it's always annoying when you do something for hours and you struggle and you struggle and you struggle, and then by the end you don't even have anything that you like, and you realize that everything you just did was pointless. Well, it wasn't pointless because it still had a use, which was showing me something that doesn't work, which means that I will be able to more easily figure out what will work, but it is not contributing like, it's not gonna contribute to the final image of this page, meaning that none of the grayscale is gonna be like visible to just the average reader. Like, unless they watch this, they won't know that that was something that happened while I was trying to draw the first page. So that's kind of what I mean when I say pointless. Yeah. Once again, just struggling. It's just, you know, just things that happen. You run into roadblocks when you're doing something for the first time. I'm trying to figure out how the whole comic is gonna look, which means that it's gonna take me a while to actually finish the first page, because it's not like when I do the second page, I'll already know exactly what I need to do when it comes to coloring and line art and all of that, because I would have already done it on the first page. You know, this is the test run, this is the trial run. And also just like note to self, for me, get brushes that you will use. Yeah. Okay. I don't know, I hope this helped you. I don't really know if there was like, I mean, there's obviously a lesson in what I was just talking about, but there wasn't really a focus on giving advice, so I don't really know exactly what people would have been able to get out of that. Anyways, thanks. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you in the next video. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at _monista_. Twitter is where I do all of my like personal posts and stuff like that. Instagram is I post images of, you know, a lot of what I record on these videos. I also do more kind of behind the scenes of like taking pictures of my sketchbook and showing you like every single page that I drew on to figure out what my character Tori was gonna look like in the very end, you know, progress kind of pictures like that. So if you like that, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to, you know, all of the self-promotional things. You know how it goes. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later. Goodbye.